Welcome to today's video. Today I'm doing a deep dive into the 2024 elections for the governor's race in Montana. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Where Montana's governor voting history in its last three elections. In 2020, the current governor, Greg Gianforte, won his first term as governor. In 2016, the then incumbent governor, Steve Bullock, won re-election at 3.9%. This was on the same ballot when Donald Trump was winning the state of Montana by double digits. Bullock was able to hold on in this state. And in 2012, before he became governor, Bullock won his first election only by 1.6% of the vote. Very, very close. That led to an average margin of victory result across these three elections of Republican plus 2.5. It's also worth noting the current poll average, while there's not been a ton of polling done for this current year's Montana governor's race, it is right now Republican plus 16. That's where the polling average currently sits. Now for the national governor's vote across these three elections. In 2020, the national governor's vote was 8.3% in favor of the Republicans. In 2016, it was 2.1% in favor of the Republicans. And in 2012, it was 1.8% in favor of the Republicans, leading to an average margin of victory result at 4.1%. Now, there is not a generic governor's question or governor's vote for the nation, so we don't have that to go off of for 2024. However, we do have the generic congressional vote, which has Democrats up by 1.8% right now. So we're going to be using that as our sort of basis for this video. So when you look at Montana's vote in these three governor elections compared to the national vote of all the governor elections on the ballot at the same time, or on the election at the same time, in 2020, Montana voted 4.6% more to the Republicans than the national governor vote. In 2016, Montana voted 6% more Democratic than the national governor's vote. And in 2012, Montana voted 3.4% more Democratic than the national governor's vote. When you average that up, Montana averaged about 1.6% more Democratic than the national governor vote across these three elections. Very, very interesting. Montana is a very red state, the presidential level, governor's level, not so much. So that was very interesting to find. When it comes to the forecast that we have for this race, Real Clear Politics has this race as likely Republican. Sabado Crystal Ball has it as safe Republican. Inside Elections has it as solid Republican. Elections Daily has it as safe Republican. And Cook Political Report has it as solid Republican. These are the two candidates that are facing off. Republican incumbent Governor Greg Gianforte and Ryan Busse, the Democratic challenger. Here are some key counties in Montana I'm watching for on election night. The first county is Lewis and Clark County, where it was won by Bullock in 2012 by 20.7%, 2016 by 22.7%, and then in 2020, the Democratic candidate only won the county by 2.1%, so it flung very much to the Republican side. 20 points, over 20 points, it went to the Republican side to only be Democrat 2.1. I am very interested in this one, that if Gianforte has a good night, it's very possible he flips this county, or if Busse overperforms, it's possible maybe he can get some numbers back up in this county. This is a very interesting one I am watching. In Gallatin, it is a 5-point win in 2012 for Bullock, 14.9% win in 2016, only a 6.8% win in 2020. Better than 2012, but worse than 2016. Again, going down about 8 points. This is one I'm watching for in terms of what the margins will be. I do expect that it will be a Democratic county on election night, but I'm interested to see what the margin of victory in this county is, because that very well may tip the hand of how this race is going. In Hill County, it was a 20.4% win in 2012, 17.6% win in 2016, and a 6.9% Republican win in 2020, a very big swing in this county. So this is definitely one I'm watching for on election night, because if it's 6.9 again, we can definitely expect Gianforte to win by pretty big, probably across the state if he's doing that in this county. If the Democrat's winning this county, that could be a sign the Democrat is overperforming, and this could be something to watch for. Blaine County, 27.8% for Bullock in 2012, 19.8% for Bullock in 2016, only 8.1% for the Democrat in 2020. Again, similar reasons. I'm watching this one to see what the margins are in this county. Is the Democrat on par with 2016 or on 2020? And what does that mean for the overall race at the statewide level. That is what I'm watching for. Lastly, Roosevelt County, 23.1% in 2012, 13.8% in 2016, and Republican plus 2.5 in 2020, about a 15-point swing from 2016 to 2020. Certainly one I'm watching for. I would not be totally shocked if this is a county that flips back, or I would also be surprised if it's a county that gets redder. So that's going to be one to watch for as well. Definitely a very, very interesting to watch for. Now, looking at the map of Montana, I just want to show you where these counties are and go through the numbers one more time. In 2020, Gianforte versus Cooney, the Democratic candidate. Roosevelt, 48.9, 46.4. Blaine, 51.9 to 43.8. Hill, 50.7, 43.8. Lewis and Clark, 49.5, 47.1. This is where the capital, Helena, is. Gallatin, 51.8 to 44.2. Going to 2016, a map where Bullock won, you can see a lot more blue throughout the state and a lot more solid blue. Gallatin County, 55.8 to 40.9. Lewis and Clark, 60.1 to 37.4. Hill County, 57.3, 39.7. Blaine County, 58.6, 38.8. And Roosevelt County, 54.7 to 40.9. 2012, a very similar map, just the margins are slightly different from 2016, but very similar map, where it was Bullock versus Hill. Hill was the Republican, Bullock the Democrat, obviously. Gallatin, 50.6 to 45.6. 49 to 38.3 in Lewis and Clark. 58.2 to 37.8 in Hill. 62.5, 34.7 in Blaine. And 59.9 to 36.8 in Roosevelt. Now we look at the Montana governor Republican vote percentage all across the last three elections. 2020, Gianforte got 54.4%. 2016, the Republican got 46.4%. And in 2012, the Republican got 47.3%. Of course, both times running, in 2016 running against an incumbent, 2012 not an incumbent, but still a very good night for the Democrats overall. Likely helped boost his numbers. This gives a range of the top number, 54.4, minus the lowest number, 46.4. A high and low range of 38.4 to 62.4. Barring a complete total polling miss on election night, we definitely expect that Gianforte's numbers will fall somewhere between these two numbers. And for my own personal prediction of this race, I have Gianforte underperforming Donald Trump by a little bit, but still polling pretty well at 56.5%. I think we'll see down ballot races typically in red states maybe a little bit bluer than the presidential races. And I think that might happen again here, only by a little bit, but 56.5% for Gianforte is what I think he gets right now. On the Democratic side, in 2020, the Democrat got 41.6%. 2016, Bullock, the incumbent governor, got 50.3%. And in 2012, when he was running for governor and won, he got 48.9%. So when we look at the estimated vote range, doing the same range equation, we have 32.9% Democrat on the low end, 59% on the high end. Very confident the polling results will fall between these two numbers. And for my personal prediction, I have the Democrat getting 41.2%, doing slightly better, doing a little bit worse actually, than 2020. I think it's going to be hard for them to win in a state where right now the polls are looking very good for both the presidential race and the governor's race and potentially the Senate race, which I'll be getting to in a future video. I think it's going to be tough for the Democratic candidate to really make up a lot of ground here up against a very, from what I've heard, popular incumbent governor. And there hasn't been much polling on it, but from what I've seen, he has been polling relatively well in this election. So for the state of Montana, my 2024 governor prediction, I have the Republican incumbent Greg Gianforte winning re-election with 56.5% of the vote, to Democrat Ryan Busse, the challengers, 41.2%. That is a margin of victory of 15.3% for Gianforte, winning another 4 years in Montana, and I believe his last 4 years, because I believe after that, Montana is one of the states that does have term limits. So this will be Gianforte's second and I believe last term if he wins this race, as I project him to do so. On the 2024 governor map now, we have done two governorships on the map. We have done the state of Washington, which we called for the Democrat, and Montana now, which we called for the Republican. That puts it at one apiece, Democrats and Republicans, and we still have a handful of other governor's races to get to, which we will get to now, from leading now up until Election Day. In the meantime, that is it for this deep dive. Thank you so much for watching. That will do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to give it a like And if you really liked it, please remember to click the subscribe button and make sure you turn post notifications on so you always get notified when I post a new video. That way you never miss one. Also, please remember to share this video with your friends and family if you really like the video. And remember to stay tuned because I'll be posting at least one video every single day leading up until Election Day. So I'd really appreciate it if you keep coming back and watching those videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video.